Oh, here we go. February 8th, 2024. I can shed some light on this one. April walks off Steel Toe morning show set, visibly angry, in tears, upset with Aaron saying she had to deal with a personal issue. April does not return to the show that day. This is the first time when Aaron confronts April on stream about missing shows in the morning, and she says, quote, sometimes she needs to sleep in. She was in the most heightened throes of cocaine dependence at that point. She was doing coke and barely sleeping and doing these shows with me, taking lots of breaks, showing up to the show late. Just a fucking mess. And if you guys thought that the moments on stream were tense, me trying to talk to her about this stuff off the air was a fucking nightmare for me. I mean, I got called every name in the book. I got told what a piece of shit I was. I mean, anytime I brought up drugs, you talk about trying to get between the addict and their drug and the things they're willing to do in order to get back to that drug, they will fucking beat the piss out of you, gaslight the fuck out of you to the point where you start to believe it, because now there's, you know, her and him were both doing a shitload of it. Right. April and Nick are both doing a shitload of it. So anytime I try to get involved, they're trying to get back to the cocaine, gaslight the fuck out of me. I'm starting to think that saying we shouldn't be doing cocaine, that's the problem.
Yeah. Like when you sit with someone doing that long enough, you eventually like, hey, wait a minute, maybe I'm the issue because everyone else seems to be fine.
They get you to believe it. And man, I tell you, with her, sometimes she needs to sleep in. I was biting my tongue so hard on the air. There were times where I was like, man, you need to talk about this on the air. And then I was like, no, that's not. If I would have known how it was going to end, maybe I would have done like a public kind of a thing. But I would confront her after the show, and man, it got verbally abusive. It got verbally fucking abusive with the kind of shit I had thrown at me. I mean, she would involve the kids, like, those aren't my fucking kids and shit like that. And like just anything. And like, just because I was saying you need to stop, you need to cut back on the fucking cocaine. The drugs aren't good. I remember telling her in December, she fucking went off on me in December upstairs in the bedroom. We were up until like 4 a.m. We were up for 4 or 5 hours. Cause I said, you're coming home too late. The kids are home. You're not putting the kids to bed. I'm leaving you to go pick up the kids, waiting for you to get home, and you fucking don't get home till after they're in bed. That's fucking bullshit. And I would think that I had a good point to make. I would think I'm right to be upset about this.
Yes.
And she would just turn it on me. You're a fucking monster. You are a piece of shit. You are this, you are that. Those aren't even my kids. It's not, your last name isn't even my last name anymore. And I'm like,
holy Jesus, man.
This is just a person fucking coke raging out at me and saying horrible, evil shit. And just like, again, I've had to talk to my therapist about it because I'm like, did I do something wrong? They're like, no, that's verbal abuse. Like, you were being verbally manipulated and abused because this person wanted to get to their drugs. And it's just, and that's just one in December that we had. And I remember warning her during that fight. She's like, it's just a little bit of coke and I'm having fun and it's a good time. It's like this much at a time. And I told her, I said, it's going to go from this to this to this to this, and it's going to become every day. And it was that happening. And by February, when she's walking off the show and she's oversleeping and shit like that, the lines were longer. She's separating nostrils. She's doing that fucking shooting that can into her nose to clear out her sinuses. And that's the fights were just getting terrible. And by late February, I was done fighting because I couldn't take the abuse anymore. And yeah, I would confront her off the air. Remember that show where she took like 8 breaks and she would come back all geeked each time?
I don't quite remember that show, but I'm assuming it happened.
I'm pretty sure he was giving her something to keep in her purse, because I forbid it from being in the house because I got fucking kids here and I don't want that fucking shit in my house. Yeah, that was like, reading this timeline really brought back some shit that I'd forgotten about, like trying to confront her about drugs and just being fucking destroyed for it. Which made me a worse guy too, because you're getting the shit beat out of you like that. You're going to fight back. Right. And you're going to yell back. And that made me an uglier person. And I didn't like being that guy.